Good afternoon, I'm Stacey Van Dyke. Tensions are rising across the ocean as diplomatic talks to avoid a war between Russia and Ukraine continue. But the time for talks may be running out as the U.S. believes Russia is close to ordering the invasion, and that's already causing the U.S. to take action. Skylar Henry has details from the White House.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov told President Vladimir Putin to continue talks with the West over Ukraine. He says talks, quote, can't go on indefinitely, but I would suggest to continue and expand them at this stage. But Secretary of State Antony Blinken expressed doubts this weekend that the Russians are sincere about wanting diplomacy.
They should not only talk about seeking a diplomatic outcome, but actually work toward one.
Russia is demanding that NATO will not allow Ukraine and other former Soviet countries to join the alliance. But Ukraine's foreign ministry rejected that notion, saying the country's right to join NATO is written into Ukraine's constitution. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky held talks with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz Monday before Scholz heads to Moscow tomorrow. The U.S. is so concerned about the possibility of an attack, the State Department announced it's moving embassy personnel from Kyiv to the western Ukraine city of Lviv, which is closer to the border of Poland, where U.S. forces are stationed. CBS News has learned some Russian troops have moved out of assembly areas near the Ukrainian border, but are not yet in position to launch an attack.
They could launch a military action essentially at any time. They could do so this coming week.
The U.S. says it has some intelligence that Putin has put his military commanders on alert to be ready to go on Wednesday. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is headed to Capitol Hill today to brief congressional leaders on the latest intelligence surrounding Ukraine. Well, it's a cold night, but that's not stopping people from going out to celebrate Valentine's Day. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with the first look at the forecast. Hutch?
Stacey, thank you very much. Happy Valentine's Day to you and everyone out there. It's another chilly one out there, but we do have changes coming in the next 24 hours that will warm things up. But again, as has been the case the last several times, we end up with a little bit of warmth with some snowflakes. We can see those out in the western Dakotas pushing their way in. One thing we have here, increasing cloud cover. Now those clouds act to blanket us. So we've got a warm front coming our way. It's going to bring warm air. It's also going to bring some snow shower chances, mainly to our northern counties. We'll talk much more about that. But for now, temperatures holding on to 0 or below where you see the circle there. And it is a little bit warmer down to the south where we have some single digits to 10 degrees in Sisseton. And it's even warmer out in the capital city, Bismarck, in the teens. How about this for steady temperatures tonight? 2 degrees all the way till 10 o'clock. Then we ramp it up. Southeast winds do increase overnight, and by morning, some of us will have some flakes flying. I'll have hour-by-hour details on that. Temperatures hovering near 0 in Grand Forks, our northern counties, just a pinch cooler, but you too will see warmer temperatures. I'll have hour-by-hour details on the timing and impacts of Tuesday flakes in your forecast here. But for now, things look pretty quiet for your Valentine's Day evening.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch. A developing story. If you live in the area of 14th Street and 25th Avenue, you may have noticed a big police presence this morning. The Red River Valley SWAT team was assisting Fargo police with a high-risk search warrant. The department's Criminal Investigation Division says it's an active scene. Stick with Valley News Live as we continue to update the story. One person is dead after a mobile home fire in rural Minnesota, and officials are still trying to figure out how it started. It happened early yesterday morning on Highway 2 in Bena. Authorities haven't released the name of the victim. The busiest border crossing between the U.S. and Canada is open. Canadian police moved out trucks and demonstrators who had blocked the Ambassador Bridge between Detroit and Windsor, Ontario. It was part of a protest against COVID restrictions. Canadian leaders announced today that the most populous province will lift its COVID-19 proof of vaccination requirements in 2 weeks. Not because of the protests, they say, but because it's safe to do so. The protests have been polarizing for Canadians. Some plan to continue speaking out against COVID restrictions. Others are ready to move past the disruptive demonstrations.
We felt that no matter what we do, these mandates are not going to end. And that's what this is about.
Prime Minister Trudeau has so far rejected calls to use the military, but has said all options are on the table to end the protests, including invoking the Emergencies Act, which gives the government more power. The protests in Canada have inspired similar convoys in France, New Zealand, and the Netherlands. U.S. authorities have said that truck convoys may also be in the works here. The protests aren't just in North America. In Brussels, Belgium, a small group of protesters from the Freedom Convoy is protesting COVID restrictions. City authorities say hundreds of people, many from France, have been present in car parks around the city, but a planned blockade of the main routes into the EU capital never materialized. Los Angeles is celebrating the city's first NFL championship since 1984 when the Raiders won Super Bowl 18. This time the Rams whooped it up in their home stadium with thousands of their fans after beating Cincinnati 23-20. The last time the Rams won the Super Bowl 22 years ago, they were based in St. Louis. Nate Burleson spent most of Super Bowl week in Los Angeles, right in the middle of the action. He's at the stadium, the site of Super Bowl 56.
Pass. Caught. Got it. Touchdown.
It was a storybook ending to a Hollywood thriller as the Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp grabbed the game-winning touchdown, capping off the LA Rams' come-from-behind win in Sunday night's Super Bowl. From the start, the showdown in Tinseltown was all about star power.
Finally, it is time for the Super Bowl!
With a rousing opening from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Stafford going to the end zone.
Explosive plays from the game's best players.
West Coast makes some noise.
And an epic halftime performance headlined for the first time by hip-hop royalty.
Now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West.
Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg with a show-stopping performance by Mary J. Blige.
When I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay stub.
LA's Prince of Hip Hop, Kendrick Lamar, and Anderson .Paak drumming for Eminem during a performance of his Oscar-winning hit, Lose Yourself.
Play action, finding room, going deep, and it's caught by Higgins.
Cincinnati opened with a third-quarter touchdown and took control of the game. Then, late in the fourth quarter, Stafford marched down the field and linked up with Cooper Kupp to take the lead.
Burrow trying to keep it going, gets spun down.
But it was the all-time great Aaron Donald, the future Hall of Famer on LA's defensive line, that sealed the game with a 4th-and-1 sack, gesturing to securing his ring and delivering a championship to the City of Angels.
I'm just so happy. I wanted this so bad. I dreamed this, man. I dreamed this, and it's like, it's surreal. Look at this.
It was an emotional ending for so many players, including 13-year veteran Matt Stafford, who entered this season without a single playoff win and ended it in a bath of confetti, playing with his daughters, finally a Super Bowl champion.
That game today is the story of our season. You know, it's up and down, it's tough, and we're a freaking tough team. Showed up late and got it done. I'm excited.
Nate Burleson, CBS News.
Stafford wasn't the only longtime veteran to secure his first Super Bowl win. Rams offensive lineman Andrew Whitworth, Big Whit, got his first ring after 16 years in the league. At 40, he's the oldest active player in the league. Well, if you were watching the Super Bowl last night, you might have seen the ad featuring a floating and colorful QR code bouncing around the screen. It was for Coinbase. The $7 million price tag for that 30-second Super Bowl ad may have been worth every penny. The company's cryptocurrency exchange app crashed after the surge in traffic. Coinbase's landing page had more than 20 million hits in 1 minute, all thanks to the Super Bowl. According to crypto news website The Block, the app skyrocketed in popularity, rising from 186th place to 2nd on Apple's App Store. And another Super Bowl success story. Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Van Jefferson is now both a Super Bowl champ and a new dad. His wife went into labor in the middle of the game while he was doing his best to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Jefferson posted a photo to Instagram after the game showing him cradling his newborn baby boy. The caption simply stated at ×2. That's a reference to the fact that he and his childhood sweetheart are also parents to their 5-year-old daughter, Bella. Well, you hold the ticket to a child's wish. Valley News Live is once again teaming up with Make-A-Wish North Dakota for its Wishes in Flight Miles for Smiles drive. You can help next week by donating your unused airline miles. I sat down with a Make-A-Wish mom to learn just how much their trip meant in her son's journey. We'll bring you that story tomorrow night on Valley News Live at 6.